Hello, Lady and the Frogs. Frogs. Right, it's Wednesday. It feels like Monday for me. It's been like a peculiar week, and I've got this camera a bit arse around, and I'll fall down. Right, you're leaning against the bottle of gin, like professional and all that. Right, I've got my hair up because I'm gonna clean my balcony. It's 8 a.m. and I'm gonna clean my balcony. I was just like looking back on my social media trying to work out when I cleaned it last year, and I don't know when I cleaned it, but it super needs doing. There's storm damage, and every year I have to clean it, and I have to put like decking paint and wood preservative on it, because we have a top balcony and we just get absolutely battered, and because we've had so much rain this year, it's looking grim again. So the year that I didn't do it, on the second year it looked absolutely awful, so it definitely needs doing. This is the only way I can get my hair out of the way. If I put it in just one, it like finds its way out. So, and I've got to do it early morning, so it's 8:15 now. I've got to do it early morning because the neighbour downstairs will moan if I don't. If I do it later on, they're bound to be sat out, or they're bound to notice, but they never notice if I do it early. But it is quite late, because I think last time I did it at 7 a.m. But I'm just going to do it in stages anyway, so hopefully with the dry weather it'll dry, and then I better paint this first bit, and then I better do some repotting. Anyway, I'll show you the state of everything. I've made some decent sales. Monday was a right palaver. Monday was a right palaver. So I'd had these job lots of books which I sorted out ages ago, and I just had them in a sort of like rolling auction. And at the time when I put it on, and the time when I boxed it up, and I know because I was going to put it all on as a whole job lot, and then I realised that the weight was wrong. So then I distributed it into 3 different job lots, and then I checked how much you could send for a certain weight on eBay pack link, and it said that I could do 20 kilograms. So these boxes were like 15 kilograms. This specific one that I sold on Monday was 15.5, and I just thought, well, that's fine then, and then I went to buy the label and I couldn't. So then I went on to the actual like UPS website, and I couldn't produce the label either. And then it was saying like nonsense about there was no collection point. So I don't know what the fuck was going on. I mean, Royal Mail are terrible at the moment. Something that I sent on Monday was sent special delivery, so it should have arrived on Tuesday, but they haven't even attempted to deliver. So why I've spent extra on special delivery on that, I don't know. Hang on, it's time for blowing my nose. Yeah, so I've got a whole load of other stuff. I've sent other stuff with, signed for delivery. They've not been delivered. I don't know if it's just because their website isn't working. I have no clue. But I've had loads go missing this month. Stuff which are, like cheap things which I've just ended up refunding because they say they haven't received them. So I really don't know what is going on with Royal Mail. On their website, they're just citing COVID, which I find is just completely retarded. I've used them for the 2 years of lockdown. Hey, it's anniversary of 2 years of lockdown. I know this because I've just been looking back on my, like things on my Instagram to see when I last did the balcony. So yeah, it was sharing stuff from like lockdown. Yeah. I really don't know why they would be citing COVID as a reason when nobody has to, you can have COVID now and just go out into the community and hurl on everybody. So I don't know why that's suddenly now become a problem after 2 years, but apparently it is. So I've had some breakfast. I haven't showered because I'm going to put a sweat on. So this is a bit grim. I'm just having this coffee and then I'm going to do it. So I am going to, it's hands on knees, scrubbing brush time, because it's the only thing that gets out. There's green mould all the way in it. And I just hands and knees scrub it because it's just the easiest thing to do, and I'm just going to do it in bits. You see, the other thing that happened as well on Monday. So, because I couldn't post this flipping 15 kilogram parcel, I was like absolutely raging about it. And then I realised that the address was somewhere in Manchester city centre. So I'm in Hume. It's a 20-minute to 15 to 30-minute walk for me. And I was just like, well, I can do this. I'll just go and drop the rest of my post off. And I had a lot of bulky stuff because I'd sold a suitcase. I'd sold this. So my stuff, my parcels wouldn't even fit in an IKEA bag. No, well, they were all in an IKEA bag, but it was like a bulky filled IKEA bag. And then I had this box of books, and I got my trolley out and I just lashed it to that, and it was fine. It was going absolutely fine. So I left here with this parcel. I tried to contact the buyer saying that I was going to hand deliver. They weren't having any of it. It was some kind of like randomised school that was in some building near the gay village. So I was just like, well, I'm just going to take it down there. And I put it on my trolley and it was fine. And I was thinking, well, the worst thing that's going to happen is me trying to get it downstairs. I don't like to do, it doesn't really stair climb, this thing. And I've had a previous issue with it when I walked somewhere else and I decided to go to this charity shop that was like really out of the way. And then when I got there, I came out of a charity shop and it had a high step, and I came out of the step and my wheel fell off, and it had split all the plastic on it. And there I was 3 miles away from a tram stop with this broken trolley, and it was loaded with clothes. So I ended up, because I was in a sort of like one of these areas where they have like these weird shops, I went to one of these places where I could just get some super glue, and I asked the guy for help and he was just like, I'm not very technical. So I was like, okay, can you just sell me some super glue? So there I was on the street in this shady area that I hadn't been to before. The charity shop that I went to was shit as well. Mending the wheel with super glue, and I did a really good job, even though I was in the street with this super glue. Got super glue all over my fingers, but mended the wheel and it was fine. You know, and I was really paranoid that I was going to like glue the bearing up, but I was really careful, even though I was just in the street. Obviously couldn't clean it properly, which I think is probably what the problem is. So this happened like 2 months ago. So put it all back on, glued it back on. I was like quite paranoid, but it was fine. And then I walked home, and then I also went through another area doing charity shopping. So I easily wheeled that trolley for the rest of that day for another 4 miles with no incident at all. And I've had the trolley out before, since that had happened, and it was fine. But putting a box on my trolley and lashing it to the frame, putting a box on there that was 15.5 kilograms, let's say 16 kilograms, wasn't the best idea. Because I carried it down the stairs and everything was going great, and I was like trundling along. I had my massive IKEA and it was like quite uncomfortable carrying it all anyway, but it was fine. So I got halfway to our post office. This was a different post office because I was walking into town, and then the wheel shattered again going down a curb, and this time the like spring that was in the wheel bearing pinged out and it wouldn't go back in at all. I'd left here thinking I must take some super glue, and I didn't. So that was the rookie move. I must have preempted that something was going to happen. You say I really must start listening to my inner, voice. But I didn't, and the upshot is that it wouldn't repair. I was right next to a building site, it was just like some people doing up a house, And I says, do you happen to have any super glue? No, love, no. Liar. You're not telling me that in the entire course of you of repairing a building, you haven't got any super glue or boss or some kind of resin glue. You liars. So they were really unhelpful. Don't ever believe this nonsense about people up north being really helpful. It's absolute sack of shit. It doesn't happen. So anyway, I gave up. After several attempts trying to repair it, thinking, can I just bodge it until I can get round the corner and get some super glue? I couldn't even do that. And I didn't want, obviously had all these parcels which I didn't want to leave in the street. So I took off the sort of thing, the cloth bit of the canvas bit of the trolley. And then I transferred some of my post into there. I put the rest of it in my rucksack. So this was like really bulky now. And then I was hoping to put both of these big box things into this IKEA, and I couldn't. So I just put the 16 kilogram thing in this IKEA bag and slung that over my shoulder, and then I had to carry the other box, which was this flipping suitcase, and struggled my way to the post office, where they weren't really very helpful, because this post office, they're really anal and they weigh everything, and they just have a face on about, the fact that they're taking your post. So that wasn't very impressive. That might be why that special delivery hasn't gone anywhere, because I don't like using that post office anymore. They used to be really nice until I started using pre-printed labels, and then they just have an attitude problem with me now. So they probably just threw half of these parcels in the skip out the back, which is why they haven't got there. So the trolley frame is abandoned in the street. It looks like even the rag and bone man hasn't thought, oh, I love that. So that's I've left this in the street. So then when I dropped all these parcels off, there was me with this 16 kilogram box in this IKEA bag, thinking, right, I've got to walk into town. It's a good just over a mile that I've got to walk to a village with this thing. And I was like, I'm absolutely determined. And I did it. I walked there. Admittedly, I kept stopping, but I had a ready-made seat, because obviously I had this big box of books. And so I had to keep sitting it down and sitting on it and having a drink. But I got there. I was a sweating mess. But interestingly, my asthma wasn't a problem. So, after I dropped it off, I was really pleased, thinking, do I'm not breathless at all. So, I haven't been doing my COVID cough. Even though I've been doing my COVID cough when I've been doing my workouts, I was fine doing that. So this thing, it was really heavy on my shoulder, but, I managed all that way. And I also found a place where, I'm not going to mention what brand it is or anything, but I've got a fairly decent amount of stock. It's like factory seconds, which I'm really pleased about. And thankfully my husband was working in town on Monday, so I was able to meet up with him, and he drove me back. So yeah, there was a bonus in that element, and I'm quite pleased with myself, because at least my asthma seems to be, a bit stable. I'm just a sweaty, person in general now, but that's why I'm gonna do this job, then have a shower. So I'm gonna crack on with this rather than sitting here rambling. Yeah, I'm thinking it's Monday today, because this job that my husband was on Monday, he pushed himself through it, and then they did the work too quickly in 2 days, so then they didn't have any work to do yesterday. So I had him with me all yesterday. So now I keep thinking it's Monday today, even though it's actually Wednesday. So, right, I'm going to crack on with doing my balcony, because otherwise it's not going to get done, and I'm going to be doing it too late, and then I won't be able to get on with any listing. Technically started in that I have planted out tomatoes there. Decking oil that was reduced, so that's the one that we're going to use. But this is what's going on out here. So I've been to B&Q and bought this, because this huge thing is going to need repotting, and I don't think when we move we're going to be able to take this with us. But there's offshoot plants on this, and I really need to get this sorted. So this bit isn't getting painted today. And that was £43, and it's only plastic. God, I mean, I'm going to get a potter's wheel. I am going to get a potter's wheel and start that as a business if you can sell plastic for £43. So this is the bit that I'm starting on. I'm going to clean this bit here and paint this bit so that when I've repotted that thing, it can go over here. All of this is completely wrecked by the storm that we've had, the various storms that we've had. It actually started coming down on Boxing Day. So I've got various stuff here. And as you can see, it starts just greening. It starts getting green and growth. So it needs doing because of that. This one wasn't falling down until Saturday night. There was high winds and this started falling down. So now, annoyingly, this one is all screwy. So I've also got to sort that out. I've got a random fern as well, and a tree growing out of this. So this is well overdue. You know, so it's going to look like this in the end. I'm going to put more of that on because this is like really quite sturdy. I'm hoping that the ones that we've got from Home Bargains, B&M actually, are okay, because that one's actually from Argos and it is really strong. But yeah, I need to crack on with this because people are going to moan if I'm doing it later. And this flipping bee, there's a bee that keeps knocking around. There's a massive queen bee which is looking for somewhere to nest, so I'll have to keep the door closed. Right, I'm going to get on with this because it's been winding me up looking at this for ages. We are on like 20 to 10. I've just pulled my post out. So this is all I have, which is sold today. Oh my God, shaky bakey. I've had my shower. Oh, I don't know what I've done. I must have given myself the irrits. I mean, this is probably how I was the other day when I was like doing that parcel. That's really bad, isn't it? Anyway, it's because I've been scrubbing for hours. Well, no, it only took me half an hour. So this is Tommy Hilfiger. These are 4XL. These are going to Germany. The guy sent me an offer of £17, and to be frank, I only paid £4. They were intended to be for my husband. They didn't fit him. He was like saying, "Oh God, the postage is so high," and I just thought, you know, I'm in the to make sales at the moment. You have to give people a deal because everybody is totally freaked out. You know. We've got Bowden here, that's gone for £12.99. It's just a basic top. And then this has gone for £4.99. And it's Ben Sherman, and I've had that for ages. And that's it. And it's really rubbish. So this is where I am with this. I've just cleaned this corner. Everything is now piled up here. Yes, the kitchen bin's here because I've had to sort of like peel this back. To do a bit of like cursory cleaning and try and work out what the hell's going on. There are so many cable ties that are in bits. Yeah, so I'm gonna, hopefully this will dry and I will be able to put the first coat on. It is going to be a 2-coat job. That's the bottom, the oil, the decking oil, and then there's some paint which is over in this corner which is stuff I had left over from last year. So I'm just going to make sure that the thoroughfare is done properly, mainly. So, right, I'm going to crack on. Prove a point, I have changed my t-shirt. I understand that other t-shirt was wholly inappropriate because it's got a hammer and sickle on it. But I can assure you, it's Manic Street Preachers because they've always been like, Stephen wants the camera. They've always been, you know, a bit, you know, odd. But they would be like against the war, I know them. So, you know, Manic Street Preachers fans will understand that t-shirt wasn't meant to be offensive. Anyway, I've got Fraggle Rock on now. Right, I'm going to go and do the post, and hopefully I'll be able to get that second coat on when I come back. And if not, I'm just going to be listing. So I'm hoping I'm not going to be a little bit more focused today, because I've got lots of stuff which is photographed ready to list. So I'll just be doing that. And I need to put a wash on, I think, of stains, because there's an awful lot. These factory seconds things that I've got, some of them have got little marks on which I should be able to wash out. They've had the labels cut, but not, it's very obvious what they are because it's all branded hardware. But some of them have got marks, some of them have got like repairs that I can do very easily, and some of them, I don't know, some of them I've already listed because there didn't seem like there was any issue with them, other than that they were very short leg. One of them was a waist 38, but the leg was 24. So I mean, I'd love to meet that man just to have a look. You know, somebody who's got a leg length shorter than mine, I'd like to meet them. Right, I'm going to drop this post off so that I crack on with the day. Obviously, I've done sourcing this week, so there may not be a haul. I will be going to my hotspot Thursday or Friday, but I'm going to see how much I can get listed at the moment, because that's more important. This is dropped off. It's 11 o'clock, just gone 11. Sainsbury's. Tesco was rubbish, really, again. I've got 2 of these pizzas, which were 80p down from 160. This, which was £5, which was 3. You know, it's the sort of weather where it is just like lazy pizza. I mean, these, which we've had the cheap version, and we got the Lidl version, and it made us throw up. There's a lot of things which I can't have from like Aldi and Lidl, because they are absolutely disgusting. It's like some people say that the red berries equivalent from Aldi is the same. It's not. There's something wrong with your taste buds if you think it is. The cheap version that we got of this the other day, it was from Iceland actually, because we've been to Iceland, and we ended up throwing most of it away because we just couldn't eat it. It was disgusting. So, I mean, £1.40 sounds like what you should be paying for this anyway, but apparently usually it's £2.80. But, you know, it's dipped weather. They were full price because it's very rare to get avocados. Apparently we're getting these from Israel now, so they won't have any of the addictive cocaine residue that the ones from Colombia would have, which is a shame, really, you know. This is probably about the best bargain. So this was 56p. Ding, 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 ding. Not exactly something that I would eat, but I will eat it because why not? So that was 56, and apparently yogurts now cost 1.70. Who knew? Right, so that was a bit crap. We're just going to be having wall-to-wall pizzas. These smaller ones will go in the freezer, and we'll like put peppers and things on it when we feel like having a lazy dinner. It's not like we're having pizzas all week. I go to this. I check the cheap stuff every day on the way back from the post office to fill the freezer up. Because usually I can get chicken and like mince and other meats for like £1.40 as opposed to their normal price. So I'm going to put the first coat on now of this wood treatment because it seems to have dried, and hopefully we're going to get both of them on today. So that'll be a bonus, and maybe even do some repotting and some listing. So let's see where we go. This is my progress. This took quite some time to get little plants off there. So these are all of the new plants, and there was a lot of casualties because these were really hard to cut off. So I mean, that is quite a small planter that it was in, considering that it's in this now. And there was a tree that was growing out of it. There was a fern. I was trying to get the root ball of that out of it, but I don't think I have, because I think it is
embedded in it, and I think it's going to start growing again, unfortunately. But now I've got all these babies, I haven't got enough pots for all the babies that potentially were there, so you know, there could have been at least twice as many of these. I'm fairly confident that they'll all root in, even though some of them it was quite cut off, but I just haven't got any spare pots. I mean, that silver one hasn't got any drainage holes on it, so, but I'm going to probably give these away anyway, because there's too many of them. So when this dries, or actually probably when my husband gets back, we're going to put the fence back, and I'll better move that over here. I think this is still tacky. You should better see the difference there. So that one's painted and that one's not. So you can see that it is green and it does need washing out, but yeah, I've still got stuff that needs repotting and sorting out here, but hopefully that's a bit better. Right, and now I can get on with some listing, because I haven't done any yet. I'm absolutely knackered too. I haven't done that. Now that I've sat down and had avocado on toast, I'm like quite knackered. Okay, doors closing. These were where the other pots were. I kept thinking, I'm sure I've got some smaller pots. But of course, they've got my tomato plants, tomato seeds, thinking. So, partly done. That was the hardest job. I mean, lifting the weight of that. This plant, it was not going to be going anywhere. It's going to be living on this balcony for the rest of its life, because you can't pick it up now. Just lifting what I had into that pot was enough of a job. So we'd never ever be able to move this out, you know, unless we were like paying some gimp to do it. 7:30, Thursday. I've been up since like just gone 6, so I don't know why I haven't started. I've just opened the door to move the garden furniture in here, and that massive bee has come in, and it's in the corner over here somewhere. Oh, it's there, look. It's been eyeing this place up for 2 weeks. It's obviously like really keen to start his colony in here. So now I've got to like try and move this bee. I've turned the fly thing up, otherwise it would just go straight in there and die, and then I feel really bad. There's been a few ladybirds that have gone in there, and I feel bad about that. Anyway, I'm cleaning this today. Even though I laid out one of those compost things yesterday to do my repotting, I've still got mud and the like everywhere. I'm going to have to do this in 3 stages, because obviously I just don't, now that I've repotted this huge thing here, now that I've got that in a big pot, there wasn't actually enough room to pile everything up on itself. So I've got to like do this in 3 stages now. But you know, I'm going to get it on now. I've got to try and like extract this bloody bee. Oh, it's on the move. It's on the move. Where is it? Come on, man. You've got to come out. Oh, it's a proper queen bee as well. Oh, it's not coming here to die, has it? This is the last thing I need. There it is. Hopefully it'll just find its own way out. I really don't want to have to get arguing with this bee. I'm sure it'll find its own way out. Oh God, like I can do with this morning. Friday morning now, and it's looking like this, although you can't see because the sun's still bright. So definite difference. So obviously I've got to do this little strip, but that will get done this weekend. There's the bits, and all of this. I haven't like pushed myself to do that other bit because we need to put this up at the weekend, and frankly I've got other work to do. This one I'm taking to the post office this morning because the guy who I chat to there said, oh, he wouldn't mind one. So that's one down. But People have suggested I sell them, but we'll see. Yes, it is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Does anybody else have a church bell next to them that chimes Close Encounters? Possibly not. It's converted into flats, hence why whoever was there thought it would be a really good idea to reprogram it. So I've got a few bits going out. Obviously I had 4 things that I went to the post office with yesterday, but I don't know, I just cracked on with everything. I've ended up hoovering and mopping this morning. It's 9 o'clock now, so I was hoovering and mopping, and I've stripped the bed, so all that's going to get cleaned. So it is clean in here, because, you know, regardless of being careful, I still managed to get creosote on inside somehow on the floor, but that's cleaned straight off. And I also had mud everywhere, which is why I didn't show you what I'd done yesterday, what I posted yesterday, because it was just so dirty. I just sort of like pulled it and put it straight into jiffy bags. So I've sold 2 things from this amazing deal that I've had, which I'm not going to show you. So yeah, I'm probably already in profit with all that. Yay. A little Lego set. That's from 1997. It's just a little car. Most of this stuff is selling on my coupon, because I've still got a coupon which is running through the entire length of Lent. So although these are saying that they've sold for $14.99, it's like $13.49 because it's 10% off. So an Adidas Climber Cool vest. This, which I put on auction, because these Fred Perry t-shirts, they rarely get much for them, and I was quite hesitant picking it up, and then I just thought, you know, I'll just put it on and I'll just buy it. It was just £3, and then I'll just fling it on auction. And then somebody offered me 14, and then I got £4 postage. So that's more than that I would ever have sold the bloody thing for, because I probably would have put it on $14.99 with free post. So there you go. Another thing here, which is sold for like the $13.49. This has been going round and round on auction for, so this is auctioned now about 4 times with no interest. So now it's sold for more at the $13.49, because I put it on this $14.99 thinking, oh, bloody bugger off. It's John Lewis. I don't do very well with John Lewis, not even the kin stuff. And then I've got this jacket here, which unfortunately looks like it's bloody marked. So I've had this since the dawn of time. This is something that I've had since I first started reselling, so it's no wonder it's marked. It is really marked. Oh, how has that happened? This is because it's been in storage for so bloody long. This has literally been in storage for 2 years. So this is a Karen Millen jacket. I'm just going to have to give this a little bit of a sponge down, just for some reason. I think they'll rub off. I think it's just sort of like stupid things. So this has gone for $4.99 with £4 postage. So if they kick up a fuss about these marks, I'll just refund them, because I cannot be bothered with looking at this anymore. So it's just things that have picked up dust. Really irritating. I suppose my problem is that I often do stock takes in an evening, so I'm not seeing if something's got a defect, or if in the process of doing things it's got, you know, I've made it dirty. But it'd be nicer if things just came in and came out. So I'm going to go to the charity shop this morning and see if there's any goodies. If there is, it'll be a separate haul. So I'm going to fold this up, because, you know, it's getting long-winded now. So thank you for watching. Sorry there's no frogs, but let's face it, if I got creosote on the floor, I would have got creosote on the frogs. But, you know, job needs doing.
So I don't have to think about it now, and I can have a look at my balcony without thinking, oh my God, that's something I need to do. So, job well done this week. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.